The up-to-date one comes from one of the most difficult, usually thought of, modern philosophers, Gilles Deleuze. And he's often one of those philosophers who people go, oh, I can't be asked to read, can't be bothered to read him. And he is difficult. But the central idea is actually very easy. It's whether you can have a philosophy not based on individuals, but events, things outside, beyond all of us. And he tries lots of different formations. And this is probably his most beautiful. Sure, it's the one that's easiest, going to be easiest for you lot to understand, but it performs well. And I always say with Deleuze, half the fun of it is actually just letting the words overpower you. This is then his study of an event, a haicity, something that just is, that doesn't need an individual. There is a singularity quite different from the subject or the soul. Think of a cool breeze on a hot, sultry summer. That summer, the summer love rose and fascism fell. Or the wind that'll sweep through Jane Eyre. Or the moor that overhangs Wuthering Heights, but is never, ever described. Or the events of that horrible September. The September men died, buildings exploded, and history unfurled. This, then, is the singularity of the event, the haicity, that which is. But you give nothing to the event. Do not tear it from the soul, as long as you see it, as long as you think this is merely a matter of time. It is not then that the event has less time and the subject more, any more than a turtle has less life than a mayfly. It is rather that the life, that the time is arranged quite differently. A subject holds on to its moments, bends them into memory, unfurls being across them, while the event pitches itself once and forever into that wild time that exists in the gaps between us all. The time a word is spoken, that is over, even as it begins to be what it is, even as it has a power to shake things for 1,000 years. The time of Dionysus Zagros, a god who laughs in the lightning fork of his destruction. You have, then, the singularity of a locust storm on a desert afternoon, if only you have the courage to live it. And you have had, since ever you were a baby and had a chuckle without a soul. But be warned, you will not free the event, nor think it for what it is, merely as you see it as some kind of accident of substance. You must say this, and say it in one breath. The vampire stalks at 5 o'clock on the winter's afternoon, and the setting sun, the glowing vampire's eye, are caught in the same great event, the same impure crystal of time. Nor are these events ever one or many. They are rather like great tidal waves sweeping all before them, washing forwards across time. Say it then, say it in one breath, I say. The man falls from the high pavement in a January day in Turin, as the horse is beaten to death, and the philosopher rises, quite mad. And the madness of Nietzsche and the death of the horse are caught in that same event. An event that washes right forwards, right here, right now. We must learn then to say with Mrs. Dalloway, as she walks through London's cardboard streets, it is so difficult, so dangerous, to live but for a moment on the hard rind of time, where you can say, no longer say, he does this, or he does that, as you cut through everything like a knife, and feel so old, but forever young.